Hello, good morning, and welcome to Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Bariji, and definitely delighted to have you on this other day of the new edition of Smart Means Business. And we have quite some very interesting discussions that we're going to be looking up to into the show, all the way from the Caribbean, East Africa, heading into the international updates, and so many more of those very interesting conversations. But of course, before we kick start off today in our morning call, we have something quite very interesting. So many times, people be in diaspora and they have always found a hard time, most especially when it comes to sending money from the diaspora coming in back to the domestic economy. But of course, to make this a reality, different, of course, fintech-related organization, of course, partnering with different banking institutions, together with telecommunication companies, have decided to come up with a certain kind of a mode of operation where they can actually enable these to be a reality. For now, let's get into this and we take a look at what are some of these new developments that are into this particular sector. Let's take a look.
Express Money is once again back in business after a brief break for some reasons in the past. And DTP is a well-reputed, well-known brand. We are starting with the Middle Eastern countries as our base, as our reach out in the market, expanding into the Asia, followed by the UK and Europe, where you have the large Uganda diaspora workers there. Our aim is to provide the safe, reliable, convenient, and services with the value addition. Our motive is to empower the global remittances and make the things simpler to ensure that we bring the funds to Uganda in a very compliant manner and make sure this relationship will be mutually beneficial. And as I was discussing with him a short while ago, we have some more products to offer which will expand this relationship going ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that's regards to transferring of money from most especially, we're talking about the diaspora community, which really largely loves to be in touch with the financial perspective to the local economy. So, and that is exactly part of the initiatives that we are launched to make this a reality. And I think this is quite something which I can call revolutionary into the fintech sector and the transfer of remittances from one given region to another region. And Africa really stands to be a great benefit. And this is going to be quite beneficial to so many other related people, not only just those into the diaspora, but also transfer of funds within the region. And since we are talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area, such developments are going to be very vital if we are to strengthen the trade ties that we have amongst the different member states on the continent and within the region. Well, away from that now, let's switch and we take a look at what's really making headlines within the local press. Well, to kickstart off, I'll start with the Daily Monitor. Yes, the Daily Monitor. And of course, now we take a look at the headlines here. Well, we take a look at what's transpiring within the Daily Monitor as we take a look at borrowers saved from shacks, but banks lack. Now, borrowers welcome the move by the government to cap lending rates, that is by micro finance institutions and money lenders. But of course, the spotlight now turns on bigger commercial bank lenders and what the financial sector regulators can actually do to reduce the cost of money, seen as a major stumbling block to business growth. So there is a lot that has been, of course, mentioned in here. And the Tier 4 microfinance institutions and money lenders will prescribe what we call maximum interest rate. That is of no more than 2.8% per month or 33.6%. That is per annum. So there is a lot of interesting details there, and how, of course, Makerere government-sponsored students endured the hunger. It's a feature that is into here, and government starts crack down on substandard hotels. Very interesting. And President Museveni President Museveni starts takes a tour amid calls that is for poverty eradication. Well, now let's get into the details here. Of course, there is a full feature here about how Makerere students endured hunger and fear. Of course, behind the prestigious name, government-sponsored students at the Makerere University face the harsh reality of hunger, as of course we see that the looming threat of the pension and a day system that neglects their basic needs, leaving their country's future leaders to fend for themselves, as the details really speak it out here. So a lot. And of course now a lot of eyes on banks, that is after loan sharks attempt, and the banks and officials insist that a liberalization policy that Uganda wholesomely embraced could actually not change much. They say that the liberalization policy wouldn't really be able to change really a lot, according to experts. And of course, President Museveni urges wealth creation and louds people in the Teso region on the 4-acre model. So the president urged the leaders to guide the public on wealth creation. So there is a lot. And Alupo Hills Catholic Church, that is for poverty alleviation programs. And FDC members recount stories of torture after arrest in Kenya. Now, female detainees accuse male soldiers of undressing them while they handcuffed them at the same time. Oh, that is very absurd. And now Bobi Wine vows to fight for victims of November 2020 riots. If you remember, lots of people who died as we are approaching the presidential elections in 2021. Now, a UTB, that is the Uganda Tourism Board, starts closing unlicensed hotels. Now, the agency body says that the exercise is actually aimed at improving the quality of services offered by the hotels and accommodation facilities that is across the country. So that is what we're seeing here. And state opposes bail for father accused of defiling a stepdaughter. And TikToker to serve 2 years for abusing President Museveni. And there is a lot of details that have been actually put in relation to that. And state opposes, we've seen the state opposes bail for father accused for defiling a stepdaughter. A lot of details have also been put in place. And of course, on matters regarding the coffee bill, do not worry about coffee bill. This is what the Deputy Speaker of Parliament tells the farmers. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament urges farmers to grow their cash crop and also add value to reap more. So they should keep on what they are actually undertaking. And now government here allocates about 550 million Ugandan shillings. That is for the Kalangala ferry repair. Yes, further details have been entailed in that. And internet lapse leaves trucks stuck at the Kenyan border. The Malaba and Busia border entry points lie along the northern corridor. And on average, we see that Malaba records 750 to 1,000 trucks, while Busia border records between 500 and 750 trucks, that is on each single day. So that's what we're seeing there, in line with the internet lapse. And now still as we continue, there is a lot of details from the Grow Loans, of course, empowering the women entrepreneurs. And there are various testimonies of actually the ladies that have benefited from this particular program. And I think it is something that should be looked into as you grab yourself a copy over the Daily Monitor. And of course, the later of the day today, false rape accusations are incredibly damaging. Yes, so there is a lot. And kudos to Makerere researchers on the issue of body autonomy. Yes, of course, that is something purposeful right there. And the question here is, what's your contribution towards the fight against HIV/AIDS? You know, what have you done in terms of that. And well, proceeding along, there is as we see the top stories that are trending locally here in the Daily Monitor. Now, of course, we're being told here to tame our spending stick to a budget. Yeah, you need to develop a budget. Now, developing good saving habits requires you to determine your spending on daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis and tracking your expenses on food and cash flow along with your regular monthly bills. Now, of course, these steps are essential for managing your finances well. Yeah, so there is a lot, there is an interview here, how you can tame your spending habits with a budget. Now, Absa Market Index, why Uganda took fourth slot. Now, the top performers included South Africa, Mauritius, Nigeria, Uganda, Namibia. The laggards were Ethiopia, DRC, Lesotho, Madagascar, and Angola. Yeah, so that is so there is a lot of insight why Uganda took the fourth slot. We're talking about the financial market. Now, into the company news, Stanbic Fuels' goal to end maternal deaths. Now, the maternal health equipment worth 18 million Ugandan shillings included a modern oxygen concentrator, patient transportation stretcher, pulse oximeter, and laryngeoscope set. Yeah, so all that has been put into place here. And I took a look at Hawaii participants here who were flagged off for the tech training. Yeah, and congratulations to that. Of course, they are with the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, who flagged off these Ugandan participants to attend the 2024 Hawaii Leadership Employability and Advanced Possibility. That is known as the LEAP. Now, of course, look into the Kisoro poll. Opposition, National Resistance Movement go soul searching. That is after the loss. Now, the party leaders attribute their poor performance to, among others, intimidation and intrigue. That is what they say. They claim for their poor performance. Now, Tesolira victims seek to participate in a Connie trial. Now, the victims say many of them were excluded from reparations program in Dominic's Ongwen's case. So what does that really entail? Yes, get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor and you will be able to find out the in-depth of these discussions. And of course, finally, we take a look at the African Union's entry into the G20 to boost the global South rise. Amazing. Now, as we switch over to the new vision, what is making headlines, of course, 30,000 schools are set to lose licenses. Now, unregistered schools compromise safety, their students' prospects, and so many factors that are being set out here. Now, government here tightens moneylenders' interest. I think this is one of the greatest conversations that is around town that every person is actually talking about, about how government was in position to tighten the moneylenders' interest. All right. Now, President Museveni in Teso sub-region, there is a lot here, as you can see, emphasizing on the four-record model. And, of course, there is a missing Wakiso girl found dead. And be aware of advanced HIV disease. You have to be very careful. And we take a look at Kenya, Rwanda, that reject expired Ugandan identity cards. So there is a lot to also find out there. Now, there is a huge risk here of getting advanced HIV/AIDS, according to what experts say. Now, in the run-up for the World AIDS Day on December 1st, of course, there will be publishing stories on the condition. So there is a lot of people. So there will be publishing stories that are into this particular phase, this dangerous HIV disease. Now, 30,000 schools risk losing licenses. Now, many rural schools lack the necessary information technology infrastructure, such as computers, which excavates the issue. So there is a lot of insights in relation to that. And now, of course, they tell us the expected benefits from the AMIS. Yes. There is further details regarding on that. And Uganda lauded on immunization. Yes, I can see our President Yoweri Museveni, who met Dr. Sania Nisha, the Chief Executive Officer of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, that is together with her team from Gavi Secretariat, that is in Geneva. So there is a lot. Uganda has been lauded on immunization, and government to reinstate over 1,000 residents in Wakiso. Further details when you grab yourself a copy of the new vision. And President Museveni intends to address on the parish development model. And of course, he's giving accountability, most especially when it comes to how has it performed so far, ever since its implementation, about now 2 years down the road, as we see the program taking place. Now, government fixes moneylenders' interest rates. There is a lot. Now, there are reports that some moneylenders hoodwink borrowers into signing sales agreements for properties they use as collateral. That has been discovered as a fact here. And there is also a section of what experts say. I can see the likes of John Walugembe, the CEO for the SMEs Federation. He has a lot of insights to say. Now, we take a look here at the tour scam, which leaves tourists in the sand. Now, the tour was to include 3 high-cost, full-day habituation permits for gorillas, chimpanzees, and golden monkeys, which cost about $3,500. We have the Winterbottom says he paid for the permits in advance to ensure that they were secured, as they are difficult to obtain. So there is further details that are entailed when you grab yourself a copy. And now, of course, the neighboring countries reject Ugandan national identity cards as a 4-year-old girl kidnapped and killed. Very sad. Now, Global Royals camp in Uganda. The Reconnection Journey acted as a bridge for Africans in diaspora to rediscover their heritage and establish meaningful bonds with the continent. Yeah, so there is a lot to explore there. I'm trying to take a look at my time, just left with a few minutes here. Okay, now we'll take a look at Canon Nakalema that commends certified fraud examiners. Now, fraud examiners are essential in protecting of government resources. So there is a lot of details that are entailed into that. And Waste to Energy Farm petitions president over Kampala City Council Authority red tape. Yeah, so what is that red tape entailed for? And now, of course, Kazimba tells government to improve the Bugisu roads due to various reasons, which have been stated here. But of course, this largely relies on trade and ease of movement of goods and services from one region crossing over to another. Now, we take a look at the manifesto week here, as over 1.2 million jobs created in 2.5 years of the manifesto. 1.2 million jobs. So how justifiable is this? Well, it's quite simple. Get yourself a copy of the new vision to get the further details. Now, Enterprise Uganda transforms lives. So there is a lot. What have they done to transform the lives? It's the Entrepreneurship Week. Still, we'll take a look at Equity Bank, which boasts entrepreneurs with the various products here. Okay. Now, into the comment section. Somebody here says that expedite equipping regional cancer centers. So they should, in other words, it's trying to tell the government to really kind of focus on trying to equip the regional cancer centers. Now, a big lesson as National Resistance Movement, NRM beats NRM in, that is in Kisoro. So there is a lot that has been said about that. And from the oil and gas infrastructure, of course, small miners here look to banks for growth. Small miners. And COP29, Total Energies Chief Defense Oil's climate progress. And of course, from Ivory Coast, Ivory Coast here is set to create about $500 million green finance fund. This according to the International Monetary Fund. And of course, we take a look at still the oil and gas investment outstrips loss damage aid. This is according to the non-government organizations in that matter. And of course, miners here are being tipped on value addition investment. Yes, value addition and investment at the same time. This is something that has been tipped to the miners. And now from the COP29, Uganda makes case for just energy transition plan. Yeah, so what is the plan going to be like? A lot has been stated in here. And of course, local manufacturing of electric vehicles boosts employment. This is one of those few factors that have been discovered into that line. And now Grow announces a sponsorship for the 10th Packers Forum. And well, that brings me to the end of the local press review. And now allow me to take a break, and I'm returning with Karibu East Africa and the international updates. Stick around and of course keep tuned to Smart 24 TV.